Okay, so we are live on Facebook. Good evening, everyone. We are late. We had some difficulties. Right, we had some difficulties, but we are here now. Everyone, we are late. We had some. Okay, so I guess we are both back on here now.
But I can't leave to share it though. When I'll try to slide it off to share it, to exit off. So I guess your camera freeze. Yeah.
Okay,
So
right. So I seeing both of us on the monitor here. So I know we are both
mhm.
on. Um, the audio. So far, the audio good on my side. Let
Mhm.
me hear what the audio is on your
Okay.
side.
All right. You can hear me properly.
Yes, yeah, nuclear.
All right. Good.
Right. We are inside and we are going to talk
Okay.
about wellness.
Yes, indeed.
So we are
Exciting
talking
topic.
out of the box. We are not going to stay within any circle or any box or inside any walls, right? And you know what really amazing about this whole thing?
Mm,
Nothing is going to really stop us, right? Because you see, once we are guided by the Most High to do
of
something,
course. Yes. Yes.
imagine
God
we
is
put
boss.
out
God is
for
boss.
this. Yes, we put out the ad for this on Facebook. The
Yeah.
ad was reported,
Yeah.
right? So the ad was taken down from some of our some of our platforms. But here we're going on. We will not let that make us feel anyway, right? We know that we will reach who we have to reach. We come in with just clean, nice conversation on wellness, and as also, we don't see how that should be a bother to anyone. So let's just say somebody just being mischievous, and it's not that it's anything personal against us, So we're looking at it in a positive way, right? So
Mm.
this is me, Daniel, and Marsha, and we are just launching today. This is supposed to be streamed on the Facebook page, Out of the Box Wellness Talk, and some of the persons who are looking forward to this are already trying to log on via the link that we sent to them previously, right? So, it was even strange to see that I started to get some phone calls just before the time, and
Yeah.
as like everything was meant to throw me off or to throw us off in a way, but somehow, we will always be able to improvise and use what we have.
Of course. Of course.
So, Marsha, I know you will take the opportunity to tell the viewers why we decide to do something like this before we even go into it, right? So, first again, let me just say welcome to the launch, everyone. Welcome to our launch. And Marsha, take it over a little bit now. Then I will.
All right. Um, well, we living up with this pandemic right now of COVID-19, right? And everybody is doing what they're supposed to do, as in rules, wear their mask, sanitize, all these things, right? But in my opinion, it is more of the immune system, the spiritual sound, and of a sound mind, your mental, how to say, your mental health, right? So the topics that we would be discussing in this wellness out of the box platform will be entirely to help us. whether it be Trinidadians, Tobagonians, or however far this message may reach to people. We are simply sharing and spreading very, very valuable, informative, how to say, guidelines as to how to always take care of your mind, body, and soul. So this platform will be entirely to helping persons and spreading knowledge of things that will only be beneficial and positive. Only positive things you'll be able to get on this platform. We're not promoting anything negative because I believe there are enough negative things around us and in us. And I am hoping if we could reach one person and help change one person's life by living a better quality of life, I would say that we have achieved greatness.
And that's exactly what we're about, just coming with real positivity. And um, well, what happened for the viewers who are already tuned in, we just going to be chatting. That's just how it's going to be. We come in and be chatting. We usually chat, but we bring in our chat live. We usually have open discussions on wellness and, wellness in the mind, wellness in the body, the spirit, and stuff like that. And we just bringing it live. Now, one of the things we will also be doing from time to time, we will have different guests. So one of the persons who will be coming soon, I'm not going to mention the name or anything like that, but I'm just going to give a little idea of how this is going to be. This person has endured a lot in life, somebody I know personally, and this person actually use music for a form of staying in the right mind frame. And the person reached to the point of starting his own company is him, right? Now, I'm not going to say what type of company it is yet because I don't want to give too much hints. But the whole thing about it is to show how the music contributed to this person's well being overall. And now that person also could benefit financially, so that's financial wellness added to it, right? But the person has been an artist for quite some time. Ever since I knew the person, he was an artist. And now, he gonna show how music could be, or not it could, how it is actually linked to wellness, right? We like just let me just pause, let me mute a little bit, and Marsha, I'll come back just now. I'm going away. You'll see me right here. Let me just mute a little bit. So
Yes, yes, go ahead, go ahead.
let me just add one other thing. We also going to have someone who into sports and going to talk about how sports contributing to their wellness, right? So um, I just going to mute a little bit, right?
Mhm.
So we will hear some more from Marsha, right? And it's not something again as I say where we're going to be coming to lecture or anything like that. We're just going to be chatting, and you all will just be here in our chat. You all will also have the opportunity when we get back on the original stream we were going to use to comment and stuff. Also, you all will have the opportunity to make suggestions on wellness topics for our Tuesday evening. Okay, back to you, Marsha.
All right. Well, while we are waiting on Daniel, I would like to probably mention a couple of the topics that we'll be discussing. Um, well, for me, everything that happens on the inside will be reflected on the outside. Because me personally, I take my herbal supplements that I make. I make moringa tablets. I make herbal soaps and oils, essential oils. And I use those things. I do exercise sometimes twice a day. I don't eat as healthy as I would like to, but I also worship and praise a lot. So people can worship in whichever form or fashion to whoever they want to. I believe in one God, right? That's just a little bit about me. When Daniel comes back on, he'll tell you a little bit about himself, so you can better have an understanding as to, the us now, who giving this information, who's spreading this knowledge. You have a little more idea about us. So, like I said, I'll just give you a few of the topics that we'll be discussing over the period of time. So, one of those topics will be self love, because I believe if you cannot love yourself, you cannot love anybody, right? Well, the topic that we'll be discussing today is guilt and what guilt does to the human DNA and what it does to the immune system. We'll be discussing higher self activation, which is basically your subconscious mind and your conscious mind being able to link together to have a better, how to say, left hemisphere, right hemisphere linking and operating as oneness. We'll also be discussing affirmations because the words that we use is the reason they call it spelling. And when you think about spell, you think about casting a spell on someone, right? Um, now there are good things and there are bad things. So if you say good things and positive things about yourself, that is what's going to happen. You want to get good things and positive things. If you're saying bad things about yourself or other people, that's the only kind of things that are going to be around you. Bad vibes, positivity is not going to find a place there. We're going to speak about forgiveness because, like Jesus Christ, he forgave everyone, even if even when he was at his last breath, he forgave everyone that did that to him. He forgave the two sinners left and right of him, right? And forgiveness is very important. Forgiving yourself is most important. Overall wellness, which is physical, spiritual, and mental well-being. We're going to discuss that in detail and share with the public things things of different frequencies and energies that we could use in our everyday life. Like I said, end result is to have a better quality of life. Um, we're going to discuss plants and their medicinal values, which is a very, very comfortable topic for Daniel and I, because he how to say he has he grows a lot of plants, a lot of medicine plants, a lot, and he also knows the local name and the medical name as well. So he could share some knowledge on that because I believe that every ailment, every issue, every lifestyle disease could be reversed. That's my opinion. And everything that we need, God has given us. So and it comes from the ground, ashes to ashes, dirt to dirt kind of way, and these are just a few of the topics. The last two that I have written down would be frequencies and energies, because everything is frequency and everything is energy. So we're gonna discuss that a bit and allow the public to know what they are. If it's unfamiliar territory, if these are things that people don't know, we are here to enlighten. And the last thing would be meditation and yoga, breathing exercises. This would be in the physical category. These are things you can do physically, again, to enhance your quality of living, your quality of your organs, your quality of your tissues, your quality of your muscles, which will also help the quality of everything in your life because one can't work without the next. Now, these are just a few topics that we would be sharing. We have a bunch of stuff to discuss because me and Daniel together, we could go on and on and on talking. So God has given us this platform to share this knowledge because through experiences and situations and environments, we have come this far. And it wasn't an easy route to sit here and be able to discuss these things. But being able to have to live through these things, with experience and like I say, situations, now we could share. We always try to give back. And that is the purpose of this. What we know we would like to share with the public. If it helps one person, I would think we have achieved a lot. So back to you, Daniel.
Okay, so today, while today is just the official launch, we are going to jump a bit into something that need immediate discussion, right? So Marsha and I are going to talk a bit about forgiveness, right? And I think Marsha
Guilt,
is going to touch on
guilt, guilt,
guilt,
guilt.
right? Guilt and
Well,
um,
guilt and forgiveness goes hand in hand, I guess, if you look at it like that.
right.
Yeah.
And we in a time when people so bitter against each other, right? And we didn't want to bring this thing. It was never intended that we gonna talk anything about um, the biggest topic worldwide right now. However, we have a lot of bitterness going on right now. We have some people holding things against each other because some people make a particular choice, some people hasn't made that choice, and it causing division and thing, right? So um I well, this will be up to Marsha. We have 20 minutes, so it will be up to Marsha if we will jump into that. But that's one of the things we want to touch on very, very soon because we really want unity. We want, in spite of what differences on opinion people have, that we could remain united and we could have unconditional love, right? So we gonna speak about guilt. Marsha will really be the one sharing, and I of course will be listening and asking a few questions, making a few comments in between, right? But it's all about um, letting our thoughts go further than just between both of us. Um, One of the things I like, well, about this whole thing, we could just be comfortable. Why when we lack space, we ain't
Yes,
dressing up and trying to talk fancy and all this kind of thing,
exactly. We're not in the
right?
mold.
Yeah, so we just it's a cool, cool, cool scene. And even when we open up our lines for calls and thing, it's a real cool scene. Right? So is it will be enough respect to everybody who comments, whether they in agreement or they don't agree. If somebody call and they have a little difference in opinion, we will put that to thought. That is where we plan to go. We will give consideration to what other people saying and try to really get their point of view. If at the point in time we are ignorant to that particular view, then we may not immediately agree, but then who knows, when we put it to thought, we might realize, yeah, this person correct, and of course that means we'll eventually agree with that person's view. um what we're going to do as well, I think I mentioned that we will have it open where persons could put out a topic, throw a topic at us. And well, of course, it have to be regarding to wellness. And of course, we will take any topic that is out of the box. You see, the things people don't want to talk about, the things people shy to speak about, we are going to speak about it. You know why? Because these are all topics that are real, based on things that are existing. And if we do not address the different topics, the different issues, then what are we going to do? They are not going to address themselves. All right, so Marsha, where we starting? We taking
Right.
it from here. We have
How long do we have? Until five to?
yeah, well, we will really be going until 6:55 because we know a lot of people believe in their 7 p.m. news, so we decided that we will share our time with you until 6:55. Some people will want that 5 minutes to run off and get some water, use the washroom as the case may be, check up the WhatsApp messages just before that news time, because news time these days could be a little tense. So, people like to brace themselves for that. Right? So you're all here with us, we'll be here with you.
Right. So, okay, so like Daniel said, that the topics that I said that I put, that's just off the bat. To me, those are the important things. But like he said, if anyone, when you're able to comment on whatever, if you could also, I think, WhatsApp Daniel. If it is you think we have a week to prepare, so if it is you think there is a topic that you like to discuss, we could always switch it up and discuss. Because at the end of the day, we want to share the knowledge of things that people we think is important. So, I mean, if it is open to the public, obviously the public will have a big play into what we discuss, and the time and everything. We will listen and we will apply it where needed. So, the topic I chose is guilt, only because there are different styles of guilt, as in everything else. It's not just one. Okay, you kill a man, you feel guilty. There are different levels of guilt as well. So what I'll do, I did some research on it. and I have my opinions from experiences. So what I'll do, I'll read out what I have researched, and then I would give you a little more of my opinion on everything that I read. So the first thing, well, what is guilt? People would have probably different conceptions of what is guilt. So if you Google it, you would see guilt is the fact of having committed a specified or implied offense or crime. And when I said there are different levels to guilt, I meant that a child may feel guilty for taking the cookie from the cookie jar when the parents say, don't take the cookie from the cookie jar. That's a mild guilt, right? But to a child, that might be catastrophic, being their age, knowing the discipline that they would get for doing that. Then it would have big people guilt, where you might take a man wife, you might take somebody husband, you might kill somebody, you might steal, you might backstab somebody, then it's those guilt. But the emotion of guilt, right, or the energies behind guilt is not a good thing to have, right? Um, Another thing is to make someone feel guilty intentionally or not intentionally. Now, the same way that guilt will affect us, there are manipulators out there, right, that can make you feel guilt to have some sort of control in your mind. And if they have the control of your mind, well, the body has to follow, right? So to make someone feel guilty, especially to induce them to do something, right?
Hmm.
Um, so
You
those are the
think
two
people
types.
talk about things that that things that happening
Every
these
day,
days,
every day,
manipulation. But go ahead,
exactly. Yeah.
listening to
You're right. Every day, right? Manipulation, gaslighting. These are terms you will hear constantly on this show because that is what happens in everyday life, right? Guilt is an emotional state where we experience conflict at not having done something because, say, okay, let me finish it. That not having done something that we believe we should not do or not having done something. So sometimes your guilt could be by doing something, or your guilt could be by not doing something. Now, I could give you a little example. When I was going to Pleasantville Junior Sec, there we were in San Fernando, and there was an elderly lady who was standing there asking, "Somebody help me cross the road, please. Somebody help me cross the road, please." And I was mere inches from the woman with my friend, and I did not budge. Now, my initial reaction was go help the lady cross the road. But because of my friends them and I was worried about what they would say, I didn't do it. And to others, they might seem something minor, but that stayed with me for many, many years. Every time I would see an elderly person or somebody trying to cross the road, bet your bottom dollar was crossing them the road. But that elderly lady really, really stood out for me. So that was a level of guilt I had. Like I say, it was mild, but it still stayed with me. That's how long it can stay with you. So, or say it didn't, okay, so that's me not doing something. And then there is the guilt for you
they
doing
call that.
something.
What type of guilt they call that one?
It's same guilt, but it has guilt where you didn't do something, or it have the guilt where you did something you're not supposed to do,
Okay.
right? Okay, so having not done something we believe we should have done, this can rise to a feeling state which does not go away very easily, and it can be difficult to endure because guilt is a low frequency. Like I said, one of the topics is frequencies and energy. So all the topics will tie in together. So it is of low frequency. So when you feel guilty, you attract the other low frequency energies, which is shame. Guilt and shame goes hand in hand. And this keeps you in an emotional state of stagnancy in certain aspects of your life. And this has a huge effect on the immune system. And the breaking down of the immune system can lead to a lot of things. And right now, within this COVID time, we need strong immune systems to live, to breathe. This is what we need. So this is why this topic is very, very important and close to my heart. Because there are a bunch of people walking around with guilt that does not need to feel guilty. And it's for years and years and years of stuff. It's nothing recent. It's years and years. Sometimes people guilty for something they're not even sure of, but you just feeling guilty, right? Now, guilt is a feeling you get that you did something wrong, or perceive that you did something wrong, or you did not do something, like I said. And shame is it goes quite hand in hand with guilt, which is another low frequency. Um, Shame is a feeling that your whole self is wrong. So this is even a more accelerated low frequency, right? And it may not be related to a specific behavior or event, but you just end up feeling shame for everything. This is why pride is another thing that we need to eat up, because it's when it is you lose it, when it is you're a bit um prided, self-prided, shame is easy to come by because you're afraid of what your peers will say, you're afraid of what your family will say, you're afraid of what your coworkers will say. I mean, the list goes on. But like I said, if you know and you really know what guilt does to your immune system, people will not be feeling this, but this information is not available anywhere, or we don't know any right avenues to look because nobody speaks about this. So as we continue, I will list a couple of the physical ailments or issues that people will have because of guilt. So some of the physical symptoms of guilt are problems with sleep, your stomach and digestion, and muscle tension. So you have a lot of back pains, foot pains, all kind of different pains you'll be getting. The social and emotional symptoms of guilt are hidden in your everyday actions, right? And these are, if you Google this or type this out, these are different research. These are research that I did on my own, and basically it says the same thing in different platforms, right? The same thing. Um, you may find justification for certain thoughts, but guilt could very well be the cause. Because sometimes you might think something negative about yourself, but if you're really present in the moment, you would be like, why am I thinking that? But that is the guilt that rests, it rests in your mind, in your subconscious mind, and you're unaware, because subconscious mind and conscious mind is two different things. So like I say, our end goal is to lays and to join the left hemisphere, right hemisphere. So everything is the way it's supposed to be. Oneness. That is the goal of this platform here. So regardless of where the guilt comes from, most times it's stress, right? So the guilt itself can be it can have some serious effects on some people, not everyone, but on some people. While some of them might have psychological issues and delays, most of them are physical, but some physical efforts can help in order to have that proper mental state of mind. Now, if someone were to guilt trip me or someone else, right? A guilt trip involves causing another person to feel guilty or a sense of responsibility to change their behavior or take a specific action. So, what that simply means is that when someone guilt trips you, they are giving you responsibility for their actions, because my actions is my actions. I cannot hold anyone accountable for the things that I have done, or for the way that I think, or for the way that I dress, or situations that I get myself in, whether be good or bad, right? I cannot guilt trip anybody for that, right? So what I'm saying is, someone guilt trips you, is that you are buying over the responsibility for them, because in all reality, we are responsible for who? We are responsible by ourselves. Even if twins are born, they are never born at the same time. Everybody has their own minute, their own, their own second to be born or whatever. So we are born by ourselves, right? And when it says you take up responsibility for other people, what responsibility do you leave for yourself? Because if you are responsible for other people's actions, who is responsible for yours? So I will now explain um what not what sorry how guilt affects the immune system. So, new research uncovers fresh evidence to suggest that frequent exposure to negative emotions may have an important impact on the functioning of the immune system. Now, I did not write down where I got this research, but I believe it's Canada. It's a new research center. I believe it's Canada. So, what this means is, like I was explaining earlier, that guilt is a negative frequency, right? So guilt and I told you shame is quite attached to guilt. So guilt and shame, when combined together, cripples the immune system. It changes up your DNA, and it, how to say, it gives you programming that is useless to you, because by studying, okay, I can't do this because this person don't like that. You'll feel guilty about that. Or I can't do that, or somebody, like, by you being yourself might be an issue for people. So they might be like, why are you like this? Why are you like that? And you're gonna feel guilty now for being yourself. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna not be yourself, and then when you're not being yourself, other issues gonna come up, because you might have codependencies on drugs or alcohol, or I mean there are a bunch of codependencies. And you're gonna use that now to numb up how you're feeling, because at the end of the day, we are children of the light, and we always go back to the light. And being the light is simply being naked. When I mean naked, I don't mean physically naked. I mean mentally and spiritually. You're not ashamed of who you are. And I mean, having guilt, and so much guilt for things that you cannot control, really, really cripples the immune system. So many studies have shown that chronic exposure to stress and anxiety, which is triggered by guilt, and negative moods, which is triggered by guilt as well, generally can affect your physical health to a large extent, not a little extent, to a large extent. Also, feelings of distress can raise the risk of cardiovascular events, which is your heart. So you could be healthy as a lamb, right? Eating your little green stuff, eating this, eating that, but the mind is not in a settled place. You're going to have problems, and then you will not know what is wrong with you. So when I said that it affects the physical body with back pain, digestive problems, insomnia, the person now, what you will do, and the problem, you go, rather than you go to God, where are you going? You're going to the doctor. So the doctor now going to give you a whole bunch of medication to help you sleep, to help this, and that is not the problem. Now the medication you're going to be receiving will have other stuff in it, and you don't know what the other stuff going to do to your body. So that in itself, when you become dependent, like I said, have codependencies. When you become dependent on that now, or even say, forget the tablet. What about if you find somebody in your life that helping you deal with those things? Now you're gonna rush to do it. But the bad things about that person now may not be good for you. But what you're gonna do, you're gonna stay there because it helping ease the guilt. When the only way to ease the guilt is to face it, ask for forgiveness if it's from someone or if it's yourself, and end that process one time. Don't remain in that stagnancy, because nothing grows in stagnant water, right? So your mind have to keep moving. The mind cannot move forward if you are guilty about something that happened 3 years ago, 5 years ago, because we are not in charge. God is boss, in my opinion, right? God is boss. That's facts. So we cannot feel guilty for something that was ordained to happen. It makes no sense. If we feel guilty, that means God put us in a position to feel guilty, and that is not true. So, like I said, the only way to get out of this is to ask for forgiveness, swallow your pride, or whatever it may be. And if somebody is doing this to you, also, you stop that in its track, because you cannot feel guilty for something that somebody else does. So, as I was saying, it also, feelings of distress can raise the risk of cardiovascular. This is how serious this is. This can actually trigger off stress and heart related problems by feeling guilty over a period of years. And it could also trigger stroke, because all that has to do with the heart, right? A study conducted by specialists from Pennsylvania State University, has found that negative moods may change the way which the immune system responds functions. So if you have a strong immune system and you're thinking, like I say, it's eating the physical stuff, it's still going to have a problem, because it is proven that it will disrupt any kind of healthy functions that your immune system would have. So it will break it down. So again, in this COVID time, right, and it also adds the inflammation in the body. So these are serious, serious things, right? So what I'm saying, well, now it's 6:55, so I'll leave by saying, um, guilt cripples the immune system. Do research. You could also message Daniel. If, like I said, if you want us to revisit the topic guilt, if you want me to be a little more detailed, if you want me to share more information, if you want us to share more information about guilt, you could simply request us and we will, because guilt is a broad, broad topic. And take good care of yourselves and do research on yourself. Don't just Google how to do this, how to do that, or YouTube how to do this, how to do that. Try to find out things about yourself and how to fix yourself from within. And if you start that and you make a start, God will see about the rest. So Daniel, back to you.
I think what you're saying, Marsha, is if you understand yourself, then you will understand what affects you, why some things will affect you, and then you could look into solutions.
Exactly. If you do not know the problem, we cannot find solutions, and the doctor cannot tell us the problem. Now, I am not saying if you're having a serious problem, do not go by the doctor. Please understand that. What I am saying is, um, the mountains don't be like mountains are problems don't happen just like that. Everything that happens within will happen outer. That is the balance. God says everything that we need He has given us, and I believe in that wholly and solely.
All right, so we will definitely return next Thursday, and our time will be from 6 p.m. to 6:55 p.m. Right? I noticed that the comment section had a few comments. Um, I saw Penny, George, and Christopher Rodriguez. So, shouting out to them. Thanks for tuning in. All the other viewers who didn't drop a comment, thanks for giving us some of your time, right? We the talk does go so nice, that I know we both would have liked to go a little beyond, right? So it's 3 minutes to 7. We did say 6:55, but we started late, so by the time we finish close off our last words and thing, it will be 7, right? So I'll get a 5 minutes break tonight before the news, right? I'll get that tonight, but I know Ole wouldn't mind, right? I think Marsha, you could probably mention again some of the topics. By the way, what you have in mind for next week? You have any specific thing in mind, or you in
Um,
thing?
I think forgiveness comes after guilt. So or we could ask the viewers them to choose between forgiveness and self-love, because both everything goes hand in hand.
Okay, so the half between now and, let
And
me
next
see,
week Thursday
today
to
is
decide. Yeah,
Tuesday. Not, I ain't giving them so long, man, because I ain't so bright as you. I had to prepare myself, I have to be informed. I have the idea, but then sometimes, as I say, the research does assist,
yeah.
right, so that we could be more on point and we're
Probably till
even.
Tuesday. We could give them till Tuesday.
All right, Marsha say Tuesday, or let go get Tuesday. All right, viewers, we by Tuesday, let us know what all the things should be the topic for the week for Thursday coming, and what we'll also do. We will have the lines open for calls. We will give a number where you can call in, right, and chat with us. Also, you know what I thinking, Masha? Um,
Mm-hmm.
in between, we could pull in one of the viewers on the live if they request,
Mm-hmm.
give them an opportunity to come in and join the live and thing, in
What we
between we
could
could.
do is we could put an assigned time and mention that at the beginning of the program. rather than just randomly stop. What we could do is give them a time that, like a time space, 10 minutes, and the viewers then could call in and ask their questions and everything.
Yeah, well, most of the times the call will be like halfway in between and stuff because, you know, based on how the discussion go, people will want to get clarity on certain things that we mention, right? So then as we continue, we will spend the rest of the time responding to some of the concerns, looking through the chat as well and see what comments people put, and try to respond to them.
Right.
Right. So we are 7 p.m. Right. So good night to you, Marsha. Good night to
Good
all of
night,
you.
Danielle. Good night to the viewers as well. And I hope um everyone was able to enjoy it and like left this little meeting or this little platform with something more than they came here with, something positive.
So it's out of the box wellness talk with Marsha and Danielle every Tuesday from 6 p.m. And this is the launch. So we are saying good night. We are ending off
Good
the
night,
live stream.
everybody.
Look forward to seeing you next week.
All right, take care.